everyone, it's me, it's Clayton again, and this is time. It is finally time. My review for the finale of Season 5, the Cutie Remark. As you can see, I brought a little friend along with me, and you might be wondering, why do I bring this Twilight doll instead of the Alicorn one? Well, I'll give you the skinny. This finale is kind of a mixed bag, to be honest, but in most parts, it's a good way. It's in a good way. So this episode, as the season has built up for quite a while, is where we see the return of Starlight Glimmer, voiced once again by Kelly Sheridan. And if you don't know Kelly Sheridan, she's actually the voice of Barbie in every single Barbie production. Even though that seems like a bad thing, her voice talent as Starlight Glimmer is just as good as it was in the Cutie map. And you might be wondering, why is Starlight Glimmer here, and why haven't we seen her all season? Well, except for a few glimpses in Amending Fences and in What About Discord. Well, it's because Starlight Glimmer has found Starswirl the Bearded, it's him again. She's found his time travel spell, and she sends Twilight and Spike throughout to a dimension where the show answers the question, what would happen if Rainbow Dash never pulled off that sonic rain boom that caused all 6 of the main characters to get their cutie marks? Well, a ton of things would happen. As the show brings back almost every single side character and every single villain from the 5 seasons to this episode, as Twilight jumps from dimension to dimension to try and find Starlight and try to convince her to send everyone back to the regular dimension. This finale has so many things going on, and so much of it is done on a humongous scale. Whether it's the ponies leading a rebellion against King Sombra that reminds me of Fallout Equestria or Mad Max, or whether it's Zecora taking on Queen Chrysalis in a fashion similar to the Ewok versus Stormtrooper battle in Star Wars, or whether it's a whole minute of seeing Lord Tyrek, Discord, and Flim and Flam taking over Equestria, to Equestria being taken over by Nightmare Moon for the upteenth time. Seriously, how many times can we see Nightmare Moon before it gets stale? But this time it didn't get stale, but so it doesn't matter. To Equestria going into a complete wasteland. And last but not least, us seeing the explanation for why Starlight Glimmer is the pony that she is. So many things happen in this finale, and so much of it is done on a humongous scale. And there are so many twists and turns to go around in this story that I really can't explain it all. You just need to watch the episode yourself. Twilight here goes through so many things in this episode. As Starlight tries to show off her ideology throughout the episode about why she believes equality means no one having their cutie marks, and where she tries to show her ideology to not just an entire town like she was in the Cutie map, but rather to all of Equestria. Starlight Glimmer is out for revenge, yes, and Twilight and Spike need all the help they can get to bring her down. The animation in this episode is absolutely amazing. It switches between so many different environments and styles that it's utterly incredible. And the animators must have had to work their absolute hardest to get every environment and every character model and every new situation correctly. So many voice actors come in who did side characters beforehand for this episode. Not just Kelly Sheridan as Starlight Glimmer, but also Brenda Critchlow as Zecora. She comes back once again, and her rhyming couplets are even better than I remember them in What About Discord. Kathleen Barr returns once again as Queen Chrysalis. It's amazing to see her again. And another unbelievable thing, King Sombra comes back, and unfortunately, one of my biggest problems with Season 3's premiere was that King Sombra as a villain, while he felt a lot like Lord Sauron from Lord of the Rings, he was just sort of there, and he didn't really have a personality onto his own. I mean, they could have just replaced the villain with a natural disaster like they did with the Princess Twilight Sparkle two-parter. And Sombra didn't really need to be a character, and if you're going to give him a character, give him a freaking personality! That was my problem with Season 3. He shows up, says maybe 5 lines, and all of them are under 5 words, and he just gets destroyed. He's about as one-dimensional as Ivan Drago from Rocky IV. And unfortunately, his role, while naturally very short, is very much the same way. He's the same one-dimensional villain that we remember from Season 3. Nothing new is brought to him. And I personally didn't even think Jim Miller did an amazing job voicing him beforehand and now. No disrespect to Mr. Jim Miller, but he needs a better character to voice. Another positive that I have to say about this episode is the song. There is a song at the end of the episode after the conflict's been resolved, and after Starlight sees the magic of friendship. Yeah, that's another villain that's been reformed this season. It has become quite a trend. Anyways, the song at the end of the episode is sort of like Let the Rainbow Remind You from the Season 4 finale, in that it seems like a typical pop song, but it really shows the end of Starlight's turmoil, as we see Starlight's turmoil in Act 3 of Part 2. We see that she actually had a friend that got his cutie mark before she did, and she felt that because of that, cutie marks don't bring friendships, they destroy them. And I guess that makes sense. I mean, I know quite a few people who believe in equal rights so passionately that they decide to lash out at anyone who doesn't believe in their ideologies, and in a similar fashion to the equalist movement, Starlight seems like that type of pony that would jump to conclusions and let her frustration and jealousy control all of her decisions. Another thing about this episode is just the fact that something I've noticed very early on is that almost every situation feels like it's a fan fiction. Not that it's a bad thing, but almost every single situation feels like it's been done before in a fanfic and it's only now been canonized. Like the first alternate reality with the rebellion going up against King Sombra reminds me of Fallout Equestria, except with Sombra. And the big jungle battle between Zecora and the Changelings reminds me of the return of Queen Chrysalis from IDW Comics meets Star Wars. So a weird mix of that. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't read the IDW Comics, I recommend them. They really are awesome. And the last, and not the last, but one of the last alternate realities where it's just a barren wasteland reminds me of Mad Max. I was almost expecting Pinkie Pie or Rainbow Dash to come in with a weird supercar at that point. Oh, by the way, almost all of the main characters, with the exception of Twilight and Spike, end up in this different reality in different roles. Like you see Applejack working at an apple factory, you see Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie as jungle warriors, you see Rarity working for Nightmare Moon. It's so interesting to see all of these characters go in different paths and see what would happen if that defining moment in Cutie Mark Chronicles never truly happened. So overall, when you compare this finale to all of the other two-parters, I wouldn't really say it's my absolute favorite of the bunch. That would probably still be Twilight's Kingdom. But overall, it's pretty dang close. In many respects, Cutie Map and the Cutie Remark show us what happens when ideologies go way too far. We've seen this sort of thing before with ideologies and how an idea of equality can really bring disaster. Like with Steven Universe and especially Legend of Korra. In fact, in some respects, I find Glimmer to be very similar to Kuvira from Korra. And in a similar fashion to how Kuvira and Korra were very similar when they look really deep, Starlight and Twilight could have ended up very similar too. Both skilled unicorns, both who are passionate in their ideologies, but it's just one event that causes an avalanche of events to occur that completely changes everything, Back to the Future style. One event that happened in Starlight's life caused everything to go haywire. So overall, with an excellent story, brilliant animation, tons of voice actors coming to reprise their roles, an excellent song, and so much more, the Cutie Remark gets a 9.5 out of 10. I expect a lot of fanfictions to come around about this. Last thing, Josh Haber. I know I may have been hard on you for playing it safe as a writer, but you certainly didn't play it safe here, and I am so proud of you for it. Josh, welcome to the Writing Elite. I hope to see all of you and every one of my fans for my Season 6 reviews. See you later.